Hello, and welcome, my Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your romantic, timeless soulmate read for October 2020. I am your reader, Mark Angelo, lYONS, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, the Archangel of lYONS, Mark Angelo, lYONS, but you can call me Mal. Hi. Hi, my subscribers. Thank you so much for your love, your support, your likes, your shares, your comments. You're hitting that notification bell, and you're gonna need it for this series because this is I'm doing extendeds. It means 24 readings in 1 week, and you know I cross T's and dot the I's as much as I can, Virgo Sun that I am. So thank you so much. Eventually, once I hit 30,000 subscribers, I know it's a ways away. I'm not even at 2 yet at this moment, 2,000. But then I'll be able to keep everything here on YouTube instead of having to put stuff up on Vimeo on demand, which I'm glad to do for now. But it would be nice to have it all in one place. So if you are new to my channel, please do consider subscribing and all that YouTube-y stuff to help people see my work so that I can reach that goal hopefully in this lifetime. Otherwise, let's get down to business, shall we? This is a general soulmate contract read, a romantic, timeless one. And you have many different types of soulmates. There are links in the description box below explaining the difference between twin flames and soulmates and all that jazz. I suggest you check them out. The one from Matt Kahn in particular, we are using his healing mantra deck, of course, but you won't be seeing those in this read. You'll be seeing those in the extended on Vimeo. We are doing 10 cards for YouTube and then 10 plus cards for the extended on Vimeo, because that's the way the guides did it this time, and they changed the design and the directions every single time I do a new series regardless of content. So that's how this baby is rolling. But we will say that a soulmate contract, the foundation is you help each other heal. They are soothing, they are satisfying, they are stimulating, but they are also very soothing, very symbiotic, as opposed to the twin flames, which are turbulent, transformative, where you teach each other how to heal yourselves and love yourselves, which looks good on paper, but in practice it's pretty torturous. Oh, that's another good alliteration for twin flame, torturous, because ain't they just? They're not all romantic, sexual twin flames and soulmates, these soul contracts, but those are the ones we are looking at. Again, I say it every single time. My father was a twin flame contract. Him and I, we had, my mother and I are still to this day soulmate contracts. So we are going to be looking at your romantic, sexual, and for very good purpose. You see, these are the ones that have been the hardest for us throughout history, right? Family, you can get around to forgiving eventually. Broken hearts, romantically, sexually, that's rough. So this is going to be about you healing you, right? Like you doing what you need to heal yourself. And in the quantum entanglement of it all, because you are helping your soulmate heal, whether you've met each other or not, in that healing of yourself and the healing of your soulmate, whether you're together or apart, then help you heal the world. And so the intention for these reads they gave me right before I hit, pretty much before I hit the record button for the first read, Aries, may these readings help the soulmates heal so they may help heal the world. Heart by heart, so mote it be. And so it is. It's a really good intention, right? And it takes it out of the getting your own ego wants and desires met, because you're taking the healing journey, right? And through well, they've been giving me the words quantum entanglement of soulmates. I get that part for sure, right? But also the holographic responsibility that we take as all being one energy field. As you heal, so you help the world heal. You get the vibe? So that you can see how the romantic, sexual ones would be important. And they even said to me this morning, as more and more true soulmates connect in this time of such intense transformation and change, they are helping to anchor heaven on earth, fifth dimensional unity, consciousness, whatever you want to call it. So this ain't just about getting your stuff touched. It is. But imagine that backed up with all that high vibe stuff. Sorry, my clipboard keeps slipping, but there you have it. I don't care. Let's get down to business. Remember, this is a general read. Take what resonates. Leave what doesn't. Check your other signs, because Your sun sign is just going to get very different information than your moon sign or your rising, or particularly your Venus. Come on, it's a soulmate read. So let's have at it. Stay in the present moment. Focus on your breath. All the decks that I read are in the description box at the bottom. Blah, blah, blah. Let's do this. Oh, finally. I know a lot of exposition for the main event. But let's get down to it. Take a nice deep breath. Oh, yeah, because I've been in prayer and meditation and getting the video format ready to pop the videos in when they're done on my editor, my editing software. So I'm very, very pleased to be doing this work today. My collective pantheons, please. I need 2 cards. One for the Divine Feminine we'll be doing on the left side of, well, on my side. On this side, the Divine Masculine on this side, right? You get to figure out who they are, who you are, which one is which as we do this. So please, my collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please, I need 2 cards. 2 Caroline Myss archetype cards. What are the dominant archetypes? One for the Divine Feminine and one for the Divine Masculine in this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, soulmate contract for October 2020 or timeless. Please leave the card for the Divine Feminine in my hand. There's our Divine Feminine. And who is our Divine Masculine? Really? This one poking out? You got it. And remember, this is not about biological gender. If you know me at this point, you know that is not the case. But we are actually going to add one more card, which will be turned over in the extended, but it will be in the preview. So though you're only getting 10 cards in this reading, you will get to see what this card is in the preview. So technically you get 11, right? Please, my collective pantheons, what is the dominant archetype in this soulmate contract overall for their well-being? There you go. Yeah, I'm getting the hang of this extended stuff. You don't give it all in the original. You got to give some in the sequel, right? So let's see, who is our couple? Now remember, in a soulmate contract, there is light and shadow. There is no healing without toxicity, right? There's no lead, there's no alchemy without lead. There's no light without shadow, at least with these 2 in particular. Now look, the shadow is supposed to be triggering. So remember, it might take you a hot second to figure out which one you are, particularly with soulmates, because there is quantum entanglement. But we are looking at the Divine Feminine as the Addict archetype, and don't freak out. It can also be about being hyper aware of addicts in your energy field or in your life. The Divine Masculine has the Teacher. So we are looking at a wild card family archetype and a wisdom family archetype. And I would say we are off with a bang, all right? We are going here. The shadow attribute of the addict should seem very familiar to everyone on planet Earth. Compromises integrity and honesty, right? Allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your own inner spirit, right? So when your honor code is challenged and the addiction, you just have to override it. Believe me, I've done it. It doesn't make me an addict necessarily, and yet we all have our addictions. So understand, everybody has addictions, but the addict archetype, for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, is a major transformative healing archetype to have. The light attribute helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. So of course that covers the internals we all know, right? Drugs, alcohol, prescriptions, food, money, sex, we get it. But then there are also the intangibles, the addiction to being right. I'm aware of the addiction to being right. I've seen people in my life from time to time, when proven wrong, go through quite amazing detox. Like they go through addiction pain. They sort of melt down, right? They go through withdrawal symptoms. That's what the word I was looking for. So if this in your light, if you're the Divine Feminine, my Aries, if you have really been looking at the addictive patterns in your life, codependency, right? all that and a side of fries, then you are well on your way here. But remember, you're going to help each other heal. So you have to bring wounds to the table. You have to bring shadow to it, unless you're an enlightened being completely. And then what are you doing watching a YouTube read? You know what I mean? So, you know, it's all good. It's all good in the neighborhood called the holographic entanglement of planet Earth and unity consciousness. So let's look at the teacher archetype. Obviously an archetype I was born with, but I only have one planet in Aries, and it's in Saturn and retrograde, God help us. So I'm not in this one as far as I can see, but the shadow attribute, manipulating and abusing students, teaching negative traits and destructive skills. Now, I've had teachers like that, both literally in school as well as spiritual teachers, throughout my very, very long spiritual healing path in this particular life. I started in high school, for God's sake, and before that I started reading tarot when I was 12. So at 52, I can relate to that aspect of it. And of course, there's always the temptation. But what's the shadow? The stuff you don't want to look at, the stuff you don't want anybody to know. Tricky gnosis there, Gnosis. The light attribute, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. Hello, I got this one, lifelong. Pretty much. If not Chronos, then Kairos. Read Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Mays. So an addict and a teacher, how could they help each other heal? Let us not count all the ways, but let us get some ways on the table here, as we are going to clarify this with one card for each of these columns. And remember, this one I'm not even going to look at until I hop over into the Vimeo read, but you will see it at the end in the preview at the very end of this video. So let's ask the goddesses through the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, one card each. What's going on for them inside? Like, what's their inner reality? What's the yin, the divine feminine aspect for both of them? Because we all have masculine, feminine energy. Breathe. My goddesses of fire, the divine feminines of fire, and Aries, please, I need 3 cards. Again, one for the divine feminine addict here, one for the divine masculine teacher here, and one for the overall Aries collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign, soulmate contract. Ooh, we'll see if that one pops up. October 2020 or timeless, whenever they are supposed to catch this, please. One for the divine feminine, one for the divine masculine, and one for the overall contract that we will see when the cards flip over in the extended. Yeah. Let's see. So we've got an addict dealing with, well, the 6 of Blades on the inner. So there is some healing, some therapy, some thinking about, some shifting of the mind. Remember, the 6 of Swords, as we see in classical tarot, I always, default to the Rider-Waite, bless you, Pamela Coleman Smith, that moving from rough, choppy waters to smooth sailing, right? Calmer water. So there's definitely a process of balancing the mind in the internal. And the mind is definitely part of the yin, though considered predominantly a masculine energy, the divine mind, the divine masculine, the divine heart, the divine feminine. There is a mental balancing, healing that can be therapy, that can be counseling, that can be journaling, that can be affirmation work, that can be belief management, which is a whole other category of healing. But certainly that would make sense for an addict. Now, can we be addicted to thoughts? Oh yeah, thoughts have biological consequences, right? So when you think of a particular thought and it lights you up, right? That has a biochemical response that the body can actually get addicted to. Now, I will say the same can also happen with what you call negative thoughts or lower vibrational thoughts. Depression. How many people turn to addiction as a result of depression, right? To medicate and push that stuff down. But this is really, I'm feeling it, about coming into a more holistic mental place of seeing things on a more even playing field, and maybe even balancing the brain, so to speak. Now, that is actually balancing the brain, one of the healing mantra deck mantras. I can be and do all at once. We'll see if that pops up, but you're going to have to wait again until the extended. So for this teacher archetype, what are they going through on the inner? Ten of Wands. Now, not usually the overwhelm that you see in the traditional tarot. This is the Hora in the Daughters of the Moon. Hava, Nagila, Hava, Nagila, circle dance of joy and celebration and a rite of passage. So we're looking at some completion in their life that perhaps they feel really good about, maybe wrapping up something that they worked very hard for. You know, it starts with the Ace of Flames, which is Wands in this deck, right? And then builds and builds and builds to completion, right? From 1 to 10, 1 plus 0, goes back to the Ace and around and around and again, right? So the vibe on this as a teacher, it feels like there's some hard-won wisdom that they got, or some relationship project, or how they're feeling about you, that you guys have reached a place either individually or collectively. Maybe they're feeling, if you haven't met, that there's a major achievement that they've got, and they have the rewards of it, of something that they really wanted. Because it's the teacher archetype, wisdom family, it might be hard-won wisdom that they have accumulated for themselves and are ready then to take that into the Ace and share it, right? Like the torch. Ooh, I almost flipped over the card I'm not supposed to. No, 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 no. So that's the internal. What's going on in the external, shall we? Because even though that Ten of Flames can be about the completion of something, it's that feeling of, I nailed it, right? I worked so hard. Like, to bring it up, like once I got 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. It didn't take me long to do, but it was a lot of work going into it. And there was definitely that feeling of, oh, thank God, celebration. And then the world shut down. I love that the gods had me in my new career right as shit started to hit the fan. But let's keep going. We're going to ask the mythic tarot, the gods. Now, there are two gods in particular I work with. The brothers, Aries and Hephaestus here. So let's see what we get for you, my Aries. Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Breathe. My gods of fire, Aries and Hephaestus, please. I need 3 cards in clarity for the Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, the Divine Feminine, the Divine Masculine, and the contract overall in this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign soulmate contract. Happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, romantic, soothing, satisfying soulmate contract, October 2020 or timeless. Please, can I have 1 for the Divine Feminine? The Addict, 1 for... Remember, the Addict, I'm saying that, but that archetype has so much light in it to free yourself from addictions. It's huge. It's huge. It can be an ancestral pattern. Like, you know, I'm sorry, our parents just didn't have the recovery tools available to us now, right? And certainly our ancestors didn't. So please, I can feel that, my gods. Please, 1 card for the Divine Masculine teacher here. What's going on in the yang and the outside? We've got the Daughters of the Moon for the inside. This is for the outside. And please, for the overall contract that we will see in the extended. Good. I like this. I'm having fun. So we have, again, the Divine Feminine Addict on the inside. Definitely doing the balancing in the yin, in the yang, in the external. They've got the 3 of Wands. So there is a patience, and there is a loyalty, and there is a waiting, because this is going to take time, right? Like I said, my Pantheon showed me this morning, little by little, that the soulmate contracts are starting to come together to initiate a new life in a new world. And we are in a new world, but we've got like 1 foot in the old, 1 foot in the new. So that's why they're like, yeah, it's time. It's time. They give me this image. When I was a kid, they had this football game. It was an electronic thing. It was a flat thing with a green field and the lines. And these little teeny tiny football players made out of plastic, and you'd line them up, and then you'd hit the button, and they'd all... Well, my brother had it. I didn't. I had a Wonder Woman thing as a kid. Not a shock, right? But that it's that thing of things are vibrating into place. The more and more we heal our own hearts, the more and more we take our own healing journeys, learning to love ourselves and all that jazz, we are helping this world heal through our soulmate contracts, and even helping your soulmate, known or unknown, heal as well. But with that 3 of Wands, there is a sense of stability and loyalty, at least in an initial beginning of that, to say, I am willing to give my time and my loyalty to this process, no matter how long it takes, at least for now, right? At least for now. For the Divine Masculine, remember, we've got the teacher archetype, and inside is feeling, Hava Nagila is feeling circle dance, is feeling like, yes, witch work. Oh, but in the outside, they got the card of the devil, Pan, in this deck, which I don't see him as the devil. He's just a horny little goat god. He's a lot of fun. Just watch out for that pan pipe of his. It'll make you smoke. Not what you think. So we are looking at what? We are looking at some fears here, some limitations, some chains that bind them. And usually those chains are illusions, but they can feel startlingly real as they cut into your mind and your heart chakra, right? Those fears that the beliefs, I'm through with love, I'll never fall again, said adieu to love, don't ever call again, for I must have you or no one. But me, I'm through with love, fuck this shit, right? So there might be some of that going on there, and yet, okay, so on the inner there's this sense of completion, but in this outer there seems to be restrictions going on around that. Now, let's just say we've got an addict archetype and the devil card in the outside for this divine masculine. Divine feminine, are you aware that there might be some addictive patterns? And remember, everybody has them, but in terms of the external here, the yang, you might really be seeing evidence of, I don't want to say something's foul in Denmark, but something's off. There may be an overcompensation because something seems to be lacking. There's more of a focus in another. Hence maybe this, yes, I completed this, I did this. But on the outside, there's still some restraint there. Now, I don't think the devil card is in and of itself the end of any story. We all have lead. We all have wounds, right? We all have fears, and the soulmate process, the soulmate contract, if anything, is about helping each other heal that through love. But it might be that this divine feminine addict at this point might have done a great deal of her own healing and is perhaps what, right? Helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior in yourself, but as well as in another. So this could be somebody in recovery. That they have that mental balance, that they could help this teacher heal. But will a teacher be willing to be taught? I would say in a soulmate contract, yes. If this was twin flame, no. But there's definitely some restrictions in place here, if not out and out. Attachments, addictions, chains of pain that need to be broken, that hold them back, that may be closing. In other words, they might be living all up in their head and not expressing from their heart. Part of the healing journey for all of us. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Now we're going to get the next two, the Whispers of Love Oracle that I love so much. Now again, we're going to get 3 down. We're going to look at the feminine and the masculine. The center lane, as I like to call it, we're saving for the extended on Vimeo. So this is the voices of your higher selves, right? The higher self of the divine feminine addict and the divine masculine teacher. What's going on here for them on that level? Breathe. Because on a very high level, it is the higher selves that are calling the shots here, right? Your higher self and your soul are not exactly the same thing. They are obviously an extension. The soul is an extension of the higher self, just as the higher self is an extension of source, right? The personality and the ego here may have, right? That's what these archetypes are about. What are the soul powers that the personality and the ego are developing? So getting the point of view of the higher self in a contract is extremely helpful. Take it from me. Breathe. Yeah, this shit got real. All right, please, the higher selves of all involved for this Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, soulmate contract, please. How can we help them? What is the whisper of love, the piece of insight, inspiration, or information for this divine feminine in this Aries contract? The same for this divine masculine, and for the contract overall, essentially the message for both of them. Let's see. Oh boy. Okay, so not bad, but the divine feminine is being asked to do something that perhaps she might rather not. Actions speak loudly. Express your love through your actions. So this may very well not be trying to confront this teacher archetype in a way verbally, because it feels like they can probably outthink anyone, not just you. And you may be very well familiar of the phrase, your best thinking got you here, right? So to demonstrate love through actions. Now, how you're going to do that, you're going to find out moment by moment through inspiration. But your higher self is saying, you need to take some action here, right? In order to demonstrate love. Now, maybe that's demonstrating love for yourself, walking away from something that may be toxic, but honestly, that's more twin flamey. And certainly, look, soulmates, it's not that you never have problems. Sure, there are lessons, but they tend to work themselves out because you're helping each other heal. If there's a recognition of that, then there need be no loss of pride. And I feel that might be what's going on here with this divine masculine teacher. There might be this sense of pride. Now, at this point, if you don't know who you are in this, because I could see anybody kind of being confused about that, get that what the message for the divine masculine is, the only thing that is real is love. Shift your focus from the problem back to love. And thanks to the work of Matt Kahn, every time I hear the word problem now, I think process. Like, this is where they are in process, that they need to shift their awareness from the fear, perhaps of lack, perhaps of what might happen, the chains that bind them, right? The toxic patterns of the past, their parents, their ancestral heritage, going back to Adam and Eve, right? There's a lot going on there, but that they just simply need to shift their focus. It says, shift your focus from the problem back to love, because that is their answer, and that does make sense in a soulmate contract. So I bet you anything, this divine masculine and divine feminine love each other. Past life stuff, maybe, again, that third, the middle lane here would elucidate that, but I ain't turning those over yet. But you really can maybe get an idea here a little bit clearer who you are, what you have to do to heal, because this action speaks loudly for the divine feminine, and the only thing that is real is love, is enough guidance to take you through a month of saying, let me then focus on that. Let me do what I can do to heal myself. Again, you can be single here and not know who this person is. This is your way of doing it. But what does it mean? Actions speak loudly. And what does it mean that the only thing that is real is love? Interesting. The divine feminine being asked to take action, the divine masculine being asked to focus on love. So it's almost like the divine feminine is being given an externalization, right? A masculine energy, a yang force, while the divine masculine is being asked to do more of a yin thing, right? Focus on love. That doesn't surprise me, quantum entanglement. You guys, if you haven't met, you're getting ready to. How long that takes is going to vary, right? Just how that works. Last two cards down. We are looking at the Healing with the Angels Oracle. And I say that I was going to do this one before the Whispers of Love, but my guides were like, no, leave them if they don't go to the extended, because maybe this isn't you, right? It doesn't, don't try and make it fit if it don't fit. How does it feel? Does it resonate in your body in any of this? Otherwise, it's just not your read this time. But they said to give them an angel to call upon, right? One for themselves, one for the other, and one for the overall contract itself. So let's ask the angels. Breathe. My beloved angels of fire. Yeah, my Michaelites, I feel you in there. Please, one card in clarity for each. This divine feminine addict, this divine masculine teacher, and for this overall Aries collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign. Happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, soulmate contract for October 2020. Please, what is the angel the divine feminine can call upon? What is the healing angel the divine masculine can call upon, should call upon, could, whatever, free will and all that? And what is the one, the angel for, if you could say, assigned to the overall contract? Keep that one face down. We've got the angel of harmony and the angel of support. Okay, so obviously this balance card we've got here with the divine feminine in the mind, there is a harmony. She's bringing herself into harmony, into alignment, perhaps with her higher self, and now needing to what? Take action. Wouldn't surprise me if this is, if you're watching and you have identified with the divine feminine if you're the Aries with the divine feminine addict archetype here, then really the waiting game is worth it, because you're bringing yourself into loyalty within yourself, alignment to your own higher self, but you're being asked to take action. So the angel of harmony, call upon that to help you continue staying in balance and in tune with, of course, this divine masculine, as well as he's got the angel of support. Now, this is somebody who may be very reticent to ask for help. Again, hence the devil card. Shadow work is indicated with the devil card, right? To face your fears, embrace your shadows. It can be very psychological, and it feels like this divine feminine might already have some of that under her belt, so to speak. But the divine masculine, though, feeling a great sense of internal completion or achievement, right? That 10 of flames, perhaps there is that touch of burden with it as well, that they can't enjoy it externally. Does that make sense with that? So to call upon the angel for support, and here's the beauty of this, no matter who you are, you can call to the angel of the other to help them heal. That's the beauty of a soulmate contract. You can help each other heal. So I'm going to pop up the picture. Now we've got our 3 lanes here. I am going to have see what else comes to me, and then I'll pop up the preview, and you can see what that that top archetype card will be in the preview. Take a nice deep breath. Magic clap. All right, so we've got the divine feminine depicted here as the addict archetype in the shadow, compromises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit, which is really rough. It's like being in hell. But the light attribute helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior, and I feel like that's what you're being asked to do with this action, speak loudly. And I think you have every right to say, look, I have been through my own addictions, divine masculine, I'm seeing this pattern in you, I'm seeing you are in chains here. Does feel like it's a codependent connection, maybe to someone else, could be family, doesn't necessarily have to be another romantic interest, but there's some entanglement going on there that is toxic, but therefore the healing, right? It's not that they're bad people. Everybody has their stuff written into these lives. When you understand that you are an eternal being that was chosen to play these roles, right? These human characters, that it's like going to the gym, right? It really is. It's like, well, I want to work glutes in this life. It's like, all right, just don't be a pain in the ass if you can avoid it, right? So it's all written into the script, and we're all doing the best that we can, right? Course in Miracles even says the child, well, I always say the child, but it says the Son of God cannot sin in a dream. In other words, a holographic projection here. So it would make sense on the inner that she's got that balance of the 6 of blades, her mind in the right place, and willing to then move forward in a more harmonious way within her. And with the 3 of Wands, I kind of love this feeling. She's got a candle lit for this divine masculine. She's waiting, but I don't feel like she's waiting in vain. I feel like she's doing her healing, and how very interesting that it's an element of air, a masculine element that she is coming into balance with. I do feel like this person has dealt with addicts before, which someone can have the addict archetype, and like I said, we all have our addictions, but might have been dealing with addicts, maybe even professionally in some way, shape, or form. So they really kind of have a balanced mindset about this. But with that 3 of Wands, there is also, I would say, a passion and a loyalty here, at least in the initial stabilizing stages, which does say that either this person is really, really loyal to the path if they haven't met, but I kind of feel like these two know each other, which may not be the case for everybody, but I do feel that. And with actions speak loudly, right? Being kind of told to, yes, it's great that you're waiting, but take action and call upon the angel of harmony, that your actions are harmonious. And that might be something as simple as, all right, Angel of Harmony, help me take actions that are a blessing for all of life. Because what else could possibly be in harmony but something that is a blessing, an action that blesses all of life? It's a good place to start in terms of prayer, right? In terms of calling upon an angel. Because what would the angel of harmony do but help you find harmony? And remember, 2 notes next to each other on the piano are dissonant. There needs to be space between them, usually thirds or sixths. Makes me sound like Cindy Brady. Jumping over to this divine masculine teacher in the shadow, manipulating or abusing students, because we don't need no education and we don't need no thought control. Well, yeah, we kind of do. Teaching negative traits and destructive skills. Now, I'm not getting that destructive skill thing there going on there, but I feel like the way that this person, this divine masculine, might manipulate or abuse students is by ignoring them, right? So they might have a bit of an ego thing there where they know everything. And trust me, I grew up with that vibe with a teacher and a lawyer as parents. So that's something that as a teacher, I've really developed the grace of humility to know that I do not know what I call the maiden grace of the maiden, mother, crone, grace trio. And, you know, the light attribute, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom here is probably what draws this addict to this teacher in the first place, because it feels like, like I said, she's got a lot under her belt, and he's got a lot under his belt. I mean, in the Ten of Flames here, we've got this sense of the horror, right? The sense of completion of desire, something that's not necessarily come full circle, but that has I'm feeling a very positive conclusion, right? The cycle will start again at the Ace, but with the Devil on the outside, there might be something preventing that, and I do feel like that might be fear, right? The card of the Devil. Now, if that card was in the internal, I would say perhaps it is their own internal chains, and of course, that can be part of this equation too. But what I'm really fearing and sensing here, this might be just the restrictions of what's going on in this world right now. Now, if there are addictions here, I would say Divine Feminine, you know it, right? Or at least you get a really clear sense of that. So if they can get that the only thing that is real is love, right? To shift their focus from the problem back to love if they have an addiction problem. And I would say then that would be an external addiction with the Devil in the Yang position, if you will, the external card there. That maybe it is drugs or alcohol or, my God, anything. People work out to get endorphin high, right? And then they hurt themselves. Addictions are not sustainable. That's sort of the point. And they're flashing Ken keys, Ken keys, handbook to higher consciousness. An addiction is just a preference that if you don't get the preference met, you suffer. And that's a very general description. I highly recommend the work. I mean, that's going back a very long time, that book, The Handbook to Higher Consciousness. But something to consider there. And for them to call upon the angel of support to help support them to break these chains of illusion, right, to set all things to right, to reveal what has been hidden, and to bring true love to light, right? The love for themselves, the love to others. And it feels like they want this. They want this relationship to move forward. That Ten of Flames, there's some acknowledgement here of a rite of passage, at least inside of them. It's just on the outside. They may be held back by chains, and maybe they are held back by tribal fear. If these people are of, you know, different backgrounds, just leave that there. But it might also be that they are in chains to another person, a toxic commitment that is holding them back. And though they feel that Ten of Flames so much for the Divine Feminine here, that they just can't be together physically, one would think, with that there. So with that card, call upon the angel of support. If you're the Divine Feminine here, if you are the Divine Masculine, call and ask for the support that you need to walk through this, to break these chains gracefully. Because at the end of the day, actions speak loudly, and the only thing that is real is love. Can really bring these two together, at least for their next step toward each other. There you go. My Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Now you have an idea, one would think, of which you are the Divine Feminine Addict or the Divine Masculine Teacher, and how to move you forward in the month of October. Of course, there's going to be a lot more hitting the table. Like I said, we'll do the center lane, the same decks that I used for the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine, except we will be adding to that. Where did you guys go, right? The healing mantra cards, 3, the Kuan Yin Oracle, 1, and, right? No, there's 2 of those as well. And then the Blue Angel Oracle. You'll see when we get there. So thank you so much for watching. May the Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need in this happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, romantic, soulmate contract October 2020 or timeless, my darlings. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and all that jazz. Hail. Farewell, and blessed, blessed be. Hey there, my Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Thank you so much for jumping over to the extended here on VIMEO.com. Let's just get into this because this is going to be part of the preview, right? So we've got this Addict archetype in the Divine Feminine. Remember, an archetype doesn't have to be you. It can be someone else you are dealing with or a situation that you are in. It's just some influence that the collective pantheons want you to know about. And we've got this Divine Masculine teacher here as well. So a wild card family, and there's always a wild card when an addict's in the room. A variable, we could say, an unknown variable, and a teacher here. So a wisdom family and an action family together. Let's have a look and see what's going on in the center lane. All right, so what is the dominant archetype for the contract itself? In other words, think of it as a third entity, right? Her, him, them, which is how I do a lot of my readings. Well, excellent. We've got the companion archetype. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. This is a member of the healing family. There aren't that many healing family archetypes, oddly enough, but this is one I actually have. The shadow attribute, betrayal by, God, why do they have to put light-colored ink on cards? Betrayal by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity, which absolutely can be an addictive pattern, right? I don't know who I am, so I'm addicted to you because you show me who I am. When my first marriage, when it ended, I didn't know who I was because I was so used to being a young, gay, married male. When the married got taken out, right? Who was I? But then I started drawing the circle production. So I found it. The light attribute, loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. And I feel that's what's really going on here for these two, the possibility, right, to really be companions. Now, I will say there are other archetypes that may be hotter, right, like the lover, or, what have you. But it really, really speaks of a healing thing, right? It's a healing family archetype that you two can companion each other through this. So let's take a look-see-dooksy. What is the divine feminine, the internal, and the divine masculine external aspect of this? Well,